So guys, retired officers from the military are asking the president of Nigeria to either redeploy Wike or he should be sacked. Now, let me take you through this headline. It says, retired member of the Armed Forces of Nigeria called on President Bola Tinubu to sack or redeploy the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, over recent face-off with a naval officer in Abuja. So guys, not just this group, there are other people coming out to say Wike should be sacked, Wike should be sacked. I mean, Wike is not going to get it easy this time. Also, a lawyer has weighed into this matter of Wike. I'm going to allow you to take a look at this video where these officers who are retired are asking for Wike to be sacked or be redeployed. And then you're also going to watch and listen to what a lawyer has got to say. Take your time, watch these videos, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are requesting you to remove Nyesom Wike as Minister of FCT. Even if you want to retain him as a minister, appoint him into another ministry and bring somebody else, because he's stepping on so many toes and he's doing that arrogantly and wrongly.
Wike's action of trading words with a uniformed officer demeans the dignity of the office of a minister and undermines the image of disciplined governance, forgetting that the loyalty of an officer is to the state and not to personalities.
And you've heard the back and forth between this thing, and you know there's a great divide between the two parties, you know. But can you just explain what exactly was the land dispute that triggered this competition, and who has the lawful title, the FCTA or the military?
In this case, none of the parties, because that land, according to report by the FCTA and both parties, it was actually originally allocated for recreation and parks to a company. And then sometimes the company wrote for revalidation or reallocation, kind of, for usage, to change the usage from parks to commercial, which according to them was later rejected. Okay. That's according to the ministry. And so, while that was on, the man had sold, partitioned the places and sold. And
the owner, the
supposed company that
okay.
actually...
Not the military person.
No, that it was actually allocated to.
Okay.
Partitioned and sold. So one of the portion was bought by this retired naval officer.
Okay.
And the story was that on the 17th of October, because I also read the side of the FCTA director, that while they were on routine check, they saw that the land was being developed, and they went there and they asked for documentations, and they saw that the only document was an application for to change usage, and which was rejected. And so thereafter they left and they came back to demolish, and they met military, and he called the minister in. So at that point I fought the FCTA also, because there are procedures. If that land had been originally allocated for parks and gardens, and that the usage that is being, it's the usage of it is being altered by subsequent purchaser for value, what you do, you write a default notice. You write a default notice to the the person the owners or occupier of the land. That is why in some cases you see, will say that unknown occupier. You write a default notice to the person you are located to, and then ask them to remedy. And then also it is their story that they subsequently had changed usage from parks and garden to government institutions, and they were going to build government institutions there. When you're changing usage, since you have allocated that land to somebody, you must inform that person. Adequate notice must be given to the person. Failure to give adequate notice will nullify whatever steps you have taken.
So you saying adequate notice wasn't given to the...
They have not said that they gave...
person that bought part of the
not even the military now. Let's assume that the military personnel had not even come into the picture. I will get into that quickly. The person you allocated to, originally for parks, you didn't serve him notice. They have not stated that they served him notice. Because most times when you are even revoking a right of occupancy for overriding public interest, and that's why they are saying they want to use the place for government institutions and the rest, so that we would say, let's assume, we will say that yes, it's overriding public interest. Adequate notice must be served on the person you had originally allocated the property to, who will now in turn inform those people that he sold to, that, well, I have been served notice. And those people also can decide to either challenge such default notice in court or take other steps. Okay. But it must be legal, quickly, sorry, so that people will understand all of this. But also, I blame our courts. I blame the judiciary for this. Because if our courts are effective, well, most times it is easy for us to say the windmill of justice grinds slowly but surely. But we forget that justice delayed is justice denied. If our courts were effective and up and doing, and people are not gradually losing hope and resorting to self-help, it will be easy for somebody to quickly approach the court to say, look, this action will injure whatever property or structures are put in that place. Please restrain these people pending the hearing and determination of the issues I've submitted before the court. The military the man who subsequently bought, or the man who was allocated to, ought to have done that. This idea of, stationing military personnel there and make I see the dying scar where go near this place. That's what actually led to that fracas. And then lastly, at that level, the director ought not to even invite the minister into that. The minister is not a regulation officer. He's not a bailiff to enforce an order or a default order. And then the moment the minister got there, he ridiculed his office by even engaging with a junior officer you met on ground, because there was no way he was going to take instruction from you, whether it's a military matter or not.
Okay, let's get to Agbajalingo. Let's enter the flashpoint, the viral moment that has divided Nigerians. Within the military's chain of command, was the officer obligated to prioritize protocol over personality?
My answer is yes, because as a soldier...
Regardless of the fact that the minister is the first citizen of that state.
Libero just said here that the minister is not an enforcer. He had no business being on that location at that particular point in time. But Wike is used to this sort of impunity. And maybe I should go back a little bit to tell you what I mean by that. In 2016, the DSS operatives went to arrest one Justice Mohammed Liman in Rivers State because they accused him of stacking $2 million in his house. Whether it's true or false, I don't know. They went to do their duty. Wike rushed there physically to go and confront the DSS operatives and stopped them from doing their job. In 2020, the police went to arrest Dr. Joy Nunye, the former acting MD of NDDC, in the middle of the night. Wike ran there himself in the middle of the night to go and prevent law enforcement from doing their job. The same Wike instigated the military takeover of a democratically elected government in Rivers State and boasted about it. He is used to impunity, and that is just what he wanted to go and do there, nothing else. He had no business being in that place. And of course, the young man, Jeremiah, is actually a sub-lieutenant. I'm very happy that he wasn't even a redneck. They told him, and I saw the video, when he was approaching, he told his men, take order, just take your positions. And he said, you can't go beyond this point. If I was in his shoes, I will do the same thing. I'm a soldier's son. I will do the same thing if I was in the position of Jeremiah. Because he had no business being there in the first place. If the person, the superior officer that sent me there has not asked me to stand down, I will not stand down. And you are talking about the 3-star general. Wike was saying, who is the 3-star general? What have politicians done for Nigeria? What have politicians done for Nigeria? In that same neighborhood, Air Commodore Abayomi, who served Nigeria for 34 years and was flying military fighter jets almost on a daily basis from Lagos to go and bomb rebel targets in Sierra Leone and Liberia. His only fault is that he did not steal. His only investment a garden, Jazz and Blues in Abuja. This same Wike went there and demolished that place. And the man was showing papers, just like he's saying, the courts are not effective. I don't know whether the papers were authentic or not. But the man was even begging, give me 24 hours so I can pull my properties from here. They refused and demolished everything. And then these iron condemned people went there and stole everything that was demolished. These are people that have paid the price for Nigeria. I can't imagine, I don't know any problem that politicians have solved for us anyway. I do not know any problem that these politicians have solved since 1999. I don't know of any. But we are talking about soldiers who staked their lives to keep us safe. If they were not there, some bandits would have invaded Abuja by now. And I don't know if Wike can stand it. Because look at just some pulling of some rifles and he ran away. He couldn't even deal with a sub-lieutenant. And these are the human beings. It is a military. I cannot support military government, but I dare say I have sufficient courage to accept that it's the military that built Abuja. The Supreme Court, the National Assembly complex, name them. Everything in Abuja was built by the military. These politicians have a retinue of abandoned projects in Abuja that they cannot even finish with all the amounts of money they are putting in our budget. And then you come and you want to ridicule a 3-star general. What exactly have they solved for us as politicians? I cannot support a military government, but I repeat that Wike had no business being on that location, and he got what he deserved. Okay,
let's get to Abuja. Can we have Akinloye Oyeni in the house, please? We have Akinloye Oyeni, who is a legislative consultant and a public affairs analyst. So, Akinloye, I'm sure you've been listening to the conversation. So let me ask you.
I've been listening to my brothers. Yes.
Good. Let me ask you, in the FCT, Wike's jurisdiction, and also being the first citizen of FCT, does his administrative authority supersede the military's institutional authority on land matters?
You see, if we want to go that route, I think, Wike is in that position for the president, because FCT land is vested in the office of the president and C. You understand me now? So Wike, having been appointed by the president, whatever he is doing in the FCT, he's doing it on behalf of the president. You understand me? So it's just like a governor of a state, like the constitution says. I think chapter 8 of the constitution put it out. Wike is just like a governor of a state. And if you look at the Land Use Act, even with the FCTA Act, you understand me now, you will see that all the land in the FCT is vested in the president, but in the minister, because the president cannot be the FCT minister. So Wike has all the jurisdiction in Abuja, all the 6 area councils. Let me just say, it is unfortunate what actually happened. But I think it's a very big sign that something is in the offing if care is not taken.
Okay. You want to respond to that, Liberal?
Yes. Let's. I first and foremost want to quickly respond to what Jalingo said. Let's not over-eulogize the military. Uniform na cloth na tell this one. Fela said it clearly. If the military did not usurp our democratic dispensation, they won't be building Abuja. Let's get that clear. And then secondly, for Wike reports to the president the same way the people that sent Yerima also report to the president. So at that level, there are chains of command. Wike became so jobless in his office that he had to take over the job of a clerk. He left with his security aides, also all of them. Imagine the man hour and the financial resources that was wasted in that time that he left his office. He has other job to do. But like Jalingo said, because it is typical of him, he wants to be the Superman. Wike in shining armor. He was the one that went there. And then also, he ought to have understand as a lawyer that in the military, once a senior officer gives a junior officer command, even also another senior, take for example, let's say you have a squadron leader. That command was given by a general. Even if a squadron leader comes there, or let's say brigadier general, that boy will not have listened to him until the person who gave him the order or a superior officer, that is the Air Forces who acts. That's the position. So he also understands this thing, that when he got there, all he ought to have done would be, oh, you're here? Please, who sent you here? Let me know. And then you tell your men to back off. You go back, reappraise your file, and look at the appropriate notices be issued. And if everything had been done, what is the next thing to do? Okay, now that they have involved, he said the man is a private citizen. Yes, but he's a private citizen. Also, the Armed Forces Act empowers the military to ensure the protection of certain retired personnel. And so in that act, even though he's a private citizen, he's still liable to the institutions that he served and retired. And so that's why they are protecting him. So in protecting him, so what do you now do? You extend a letter to the CDS or the Chief of Naval Staff or to the President. And then the President can now call the CDS and the Chief of Naval Staff also to explain. The military also resorting to self-help. We have this impunity of, this is military zone, keep off. And so you see military people, that's the language people understand. That's why people are saying, because of Wike's impunity, so people tend to forget the other side that, look, two wrongs don't make it right. We also are encouraging this impunity of, okay, if I'm not a military, so Wike will just come and demolish my house. So that's the challenge. In Lagos State, now Lagos says they have extended, they've given amnesty for regularization. Have we ever heard that Abuja is giving amnesty for regularization? These are things you do to encourage development. This idea of you want to allocate people's land or you revoke people's land and they go to court, you disobey court order, is what is encouraging this impunity and this resort to self-help. And so that's why I very pity my brother Oyeni, because this is a very difficult position to defend. Wike's position is a very difficult one to defend. It is not just unfortunate. I think at this point, the president should gradually begin to rein Wike in. Because, lastly on this, ordinarily, at that point, the moment your people called you, because from the narrative also, policemen had gone there and they refused them entry. The moment you notice that, he said they beat them. I don't know if that's true, but I didn't get that part of the story. It is not written anywhere apart from Wike saying it. The moment that happened, you have the Inspector General of Police, you have the Chief of Army Staff, you have the Chief of Naval Staff, you are a minister equating, a cabinet member. So if your boy said we went on an errand and these people chased us away, you can praise your document and then you reach out to the superior and it will be resolved at that level. You don't need, even if the man failed to call you, you call him. Okay. This idea of Obasanjo called me and this other person called me, it shouldn't even come into play.
I keep hearing people saying he was representing the CNC and all that. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that the Constitution gives the president 3 titles. The first one is the Chief Executive Officer of the MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies and parastatals. The second one is that the president is the sole organ in foreign relations for Nigeria. And then the last one is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The first 2 roles can be delegated. The third one cannot be delegated. He exercises those powers through the chief of defense staff. He cannot delegate that power to anybody. Yeah, in that same constitution. So people should stop saying that the sub-lieutenant should have obeyed Wike for whatever reason.
He said that the minister was performing his statutory duty.
Yes, as far as land allocation is concerned.
Yes, and that any occupier of land must allow the minister or governor to enter.
Yes, as far as the land allocation is concerned. Yes. But people should stop making it look like Wike standing before Yerima was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Do you agree that Lieutenant Yerima was wrong?
No, he wasn't. He was obeying orders.
But Femi Falana, in your legal...
I think he wasn't wrong. That's my own opinion.
Was performing his statutory duty.
It is not Yerima that is standing there. It is the general that sent him.
Somebody sent him
the
there.
Same way Wike. So if, like I said, the moment Wike got there and he discovered that somebody...
There are two divisions. Even though the lieutenant was acting under the instruction of his superior.
Yes.
A legendary
Two of them were acting under the...
said that the minister was performing his statutory duty.
The same way...
And I should have been allowed
the same way that Yerima was performing the statutory duty of the president. Let's get it clearly. That's why I said...
It wasn't the president, it was
the general that sent him.
Exactly.
And also was a exercising authority, whether legal authority or illegal authority. Like I said here, they
so who should have given way?
Well, at that point, it's like you send a boy on an errand. Do you know that if that boy had allowed Wike there, the punishment he would have
come with a lot of consequences.
It would have been more than even allowing Wike
there.
Okay,
let's get our Abuja guest back in. Oyeni, Okay, you've been hearing. Thank God you've been listening.
Correct. Yes.
So let me
just quickly correct an impression from both liberals and. Okay, I can hear you.
No, go on, correct your impression first before I ask my question.
Go on. So let me just quickly correct an impression by liberals and Agbajalingo. I'm not here for Wike. You might have, two of you might have taken position to support the military or to support this thing because maybe you don't like Wike or whatever. Yeah, you have taken a side. I didn't take a side. I've not taken a side, even if I want to take a side. I was asked a question, jurisdiction of Abuja land. I have given, including the constitutional whatever land use act, I've given plain legal opinion on that. So why will you say I have a very difficult this to defend Wike? Okay. Defend Wike as what?
No verse.
Are they in the Lagos studio? I'm coming. Are you in the Lagos studio to defend Yerima? What Yerima did, what the former chief of naval staff did, are their actions are they legal? If a former chief of naval staff want to buy a land, you cannot do proper documentation to know whether you have been scammed or not. That is why under them, that's why we have everywhere under them. Then under Buhari, we have everywhere overrun by Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the rest. That is the problem. I cannot, as a private citizen, I cannot want to buy a land in Abuja that will not follow the T's, I will not cross all the T's, I will not dot all the I's. Well, it's even on her head that a former chief of naval staff will buy a land that is not properly documented. Well, where do we hear that kind of a thing? It's on head. It's on head. Please, let us not glorify what we shouldn't glorify. Please, both sides can have their issues. I will just go in between. I will state what the law says, and that's just my own work here. I don't want to take side. I will say what the law says. The land in Abuja is vested in Wike, and he has every right to visit everywhere. If you are building a site, your site is supposed to have all your documents to be your site office. You have them in large format. You paste them on the wall. And we heard from all the altercation that has been going on that officers of FCD, they approached that place and no document was given to them. If a document has been given to them or they've started a document, Wike does not need to be there. But you cannot beat a director and you beat a staff. You say minister does not have right to. The liberals was even saying Wike was jobless because they went there. What kind of language is that you are saying in the public? It's not done. You are blaming Wike that Wike says or some things. Some people are blaming the Yerima that he said ordinary police, bloody police is talking to me. If you check under section 55 of Armed Forces Act, you will see that Yerima too has made some foul language against the Nigerian police force, and he should be punished. But I'm not here to come and do that. Let us, the jurisdiction of Wike, the Abuja land, and what the law says. That's just my own hint. That's just my.
Please, he has the right not to take a position. I came here to take a position. If he doesn't want to take a position, that is clearly his business. I came here to take a position. And like liberals was also saying, please, that we should not eulogize the military. Stating the fact is not eulogizing anybody. The truth of the matter, and I know, I have been here long enough to know, in 2 years' time I'll be 50 years old, that the military has served Nigeria better than politicians. I am not saying bring us military government, no. I'm talking, this is factual. It's in 1999, these politicians have been stealing our monies. They find it difficult to even complete a project. So it's factual. I'm not over-utilizing it. If you say that military now tell all this one, go and wear it.
I don't want to. Sorry, quickly, I must say this. I will repeat, let's not over-eulogize the military. The same way my law uniform, I opted to
I'm stating this fact.
While you are stating your fact, allow me to state my own fact. I opted to be a lawyer. If I wanted to join the military, I probably would have been retired by now. So I chose to do the one I am doing. If the military did not usurp our democratic space, probably we won't be here today. I also listened to read the statement of a former chief of army staff, Buratai, and I laugh, demanding for apology. People like that, we need apologies from them. All the Ezazaki people that were murdered in cold blood, till today, what happened? So I don't want to go into all of those ones. They all have their fault. And that's why I'm saying that I am particular about the boy who was sent on an errand. The people who sent him on that errand resorted to self-help illegally in as far as land transactions and land protection is concerned. Wike also did not give. The moment he realized that there were no adequate notice, I also agree with Oyeni that For a retired chief of naval staff, if not for the kind of country that we run, where institutions have completely collapsed, you wouldn't be buying a property where you don't have, and building where there are no proper documentations. If in Lagos State, for example, here, you can't build your house without approval. If they come, they will pull it down. Even if they have approval, you must build according to specification. And they will serve you adequate notice to remedy. They have served notice on clients, and we've gone there, we defend positions, and then they say, no, go back, amend here, amend this. In the same vein, what I am saying is there are chains of command. For a Wike, for example, you are too high. A minister, even though all land is, you hold all land in trust for the people, for and on behalf of the president, it does not, there is also what they call trespass. You can't just wake up one day and just trespass into my property without notice.
Yeah, but property that has not been finalized.
And so that's what we are saying. Did you serve them adequate notice? There were no notice. If the military attacks the police, then it becomes an institutional thing. You deal with it at the governmental level. And then the DSS officials that were guiding him, exposing him to self danger. If there was accidental discharge that day, we won't be discussing this. 1 minute silence, and then we'll say the man was a good man.
He used to go around and disrupting institutions from doing their job.
Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts while we go on the break. So we're going on the break right now. Grab your cup of tea, as I usually say, and see you right back on Perspectives. See you soon. Welcome back to Perspectives. So can we please have Oyeni back in the house, please? Because Oyeni, are you here with us?
Yeah,
So,
I'm here.
okay, can you hear me? Okay, let me ask. Was Wike's decision to confront the officer the right move, but with the wrong approach, especially considering the verbal onslaught, the elevated tone, and the momentary loss of composure witnessed in that exchange?
You know, ordinarily in Yoruba language, we say, if you know my dog, you know this is my dog, and you beat my dog, I'm the one that you have beaten. If the FCTA has sent junior officers there, and they were rebuffed, and a director followed them, and from what we were hearing, that they were beaten. Director, in federal, all federal directors are people who are in level 16 and 17, and you beat a director because you are a second lieutenant, because you are a military.
What about the exchange of words that what about the abuse?
I would not even be. I wouldn't be a minister. I wouldn't be a minister. Wike is a civilian. You understand me now? Let us go to the issue of the foul language and the issue of the abuse. Let us even go to that. Wike is not a commissioned officer in politics. He's a civilian. You understand? He's a politician. But somebody who was telling Wike that he's a commissioned officer was insulting police. Was insulting police? That we shouldn't forget about that. We can excuse Wike for that.
No. Two wrongs don't make it right.
I know. We can. I say, you don't understand what I'm trying. Nobody trains politicians to behave as a politician. But this person was actually showing his certificate to Wike by saying, I'm a commissioned officer. Commissioned officer that was saying, I am talking a bloody police officer is talking. What kind of language is that?
Does that
and it's a punishable offense under Section 55 of the Armed Forces Act. So we should also hammer on that. Yeah, why are they taking side? Why are they taking one side and they are leaving the other side? We cannot say we can insult the person. Why we should leave the other person who has insulted police?
You haven't answered my question. I'm asking now. Two wrongs don't make it right. But I'm asking about the senior official's composure. And in this case, Wike was older, and Wike was in a higher position in the government than the officer. So calling him a fool, calling him all sorts of names, what do you say about that? Do you think this is what has worked against Wike when it comes to taking sides on this matter?
Maybe that is what has worked against the minister. Work against the minister. Automatically, if you look at this issue, we have different sides. We have people who are coming into this issue because they are in the opposition parties. We have people who are coming into this issue because they don't like Wike. We have people who are coming to this issue because they like the military. We have people who are coming to this issue because they are pro-Wike. Exactly. Are you getting me now? So we have different sides. People are now saying the military cannot take command from Wike to withdraw from that place were the same people, group of people that said in 2020, Lekki Toge, that it was Lagos State Governor Tinubu that gave order to those soldiers to kill those youth. Now you have returned. This is 2025. You said the military cannot take order from Wike as a civilian, but you were the one that was saying the military at Lekki Toge took order from Sanwo-Olu and Tinubu to kill those people. So what are we going to be situational on every issue? We shouldn't be situational. We should just be straight on every issue. Fine, maybe because the director was beaten, or his staff was were beaten. Maybe we can now went there and say all those things. Maybe I'm not in his emotion, so I can't judge him. But a commissioned officer who supposedly must have been properly trained shouldn't look down on Nigeria police force officers wherever they are, or any other paramilitary or military people. Okay. You understand me now? So that is the issue. Okay,
Oyeni, thank you. Let me get back to the House. You know, he's just spoken now about the fault of both sides.
Yes.
But the same similar incident happened to the governor of Lagos State.
Yes.
His composure was totally different. So do you think that people are reacting more from the composure as opposed to who was right or wrong in this situation?
There are two narratives.
Let's compare the two of them.
Completely,
the way they reacted.
They are completely two incidents, two narratives. For the issue of Lagos State, it was a court judgment. It was a court judgment. Judgment had been delivered, and it was execution. So the police came to execute a court judgment in Magodo. I'm getting there. And then they took over the place, and then the governor, as the chief security officer, was invited to the place. That's massive land. Located by Lagos State government. That there is a court judgment and execution had been levied. The governor came with his hands folded. He said, the man said, composure now. Composure. The man said, I am,
Governor Enrique.
The CSP said, I am acting on the instruction of the Inspector General of Police. He said, okay, call them. Tell them that the governor is here so that you people can leave. He said, with all due respect, sir, I can't call them. They are too senior for me.
It's too low to call them.
Too low.
They're too low. They are too senior for me to call. You call them because you are high up there. You see the interaction. You see the civilization. You see the... It wasn't as if, though, they went to tell the governor that some of your men were beaten. And he said, oh, the night is shining. I'm going there with my armor and dislodge everybody. And so, that is why I said, first and foremost, looking at the side of using the military to protect private property, it was wrong. Let's call a spade a spade. It is wrong if you felt that there was threat. But also, like I said, I blame our judiciary. I blame our system. It's a collapse. And then also, that is why the banks most times you're using land as collateral. They will scrutinize everything because of these challenges and these problems. Incessant revocation without notice, and And then coming to the issue of Wike and the young boy, it is by virtue of the Armed Forces Act, you cannot. The nose. Wike is a lawyer. He shouldn't be saying he's not a trained commissioned politician. He's a lawyer. And in law, decorum is required of every lawyer. And that is why, especially also one holding public office, decorum is required of you. And so you should, the moment they reported to you that those men manhandled your officer, it becomes a crime. Whether they are commissioned officers or not, it becomes a crime against the land.
Yes.
And so, at that point, you ensure, you don't go fighting for them, you ensure that you incident the matter appropriately and take it to the highest level and ensure that justice is obtained and melted out, quickly, for your people. And then lastly on this, by that time, if that had happened, people would have been blaming this Yerima also for looking down and talking down on a police officer. It is this same military mentality of taking that the rest of us are half human.
People, when it happened with Governor Sanwo-Olu, people had more respect. People had a lot more respect for him because of the way he reacted.
Yes.
You see, before the incident of Sanwo-Olu and the CSP, there was a time a redneck, a colonel in the army, decided to drive on the BRT lane. And Governor Fashola came down from his convoy and I approached the colonel, stopped him, and the man saluted him, and the governor asked him to do the right thing. Say, you are not the person that is supposed to do this. The governor chided him right there in public, and the man apologized. Not because it was all about the approach of the governor. If the governor had come down and said, you are stupid, you are an idiot, and rain abuses on that colonel, I'm sure that the reaction would have been different.
But I want to ask now.
And tell the colonel that you are a big fool in public. There is no way the colonel would have taken it like that.
That a man in uniform cannot accept orders from a civilian?
You are dressed, you are in uniform. The civilian has no reason to command you. He has no reason to command you.
No, but you just said now that
except your wife.
He chided him in public.
So you're saying no matter how high the civilian is, and no matter how low in position the person
that can command you is the commander-in-chief. He's a civilian, but he wears that toga immediately becomes president.
So does that now render a senior official in the government powerless?
They say they should be liable to civil authority, accepted, but not to give them command.
Let's
not to give them commands.
It's legally. Yes, let's look at the case between the colonel and Fashola. That's a higher officer. He did the wrong thing, and Fashola stopped him and chided him, and the military immediately dealt and disciplined him because they are known for discipline.
Okay, but what if the lines are blurred?
So, but
you can't say what
if in a case like this...
No, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Whether it's right or wrong, what if the right or wrong depends? No, what if in a situation the right or wrong depends on going to the court to decipher that? But at that point in time, I'm a governor, I'm an elected official of this government, and I'm a very high-ranking one, and I still feel that what you have done is wrong. I cannot.
What I am saying is the person that you are relating with is a messenger. You are relating with a messenger. Somebody sent a messenger. You don't ridicule yourself to now begin to have altercation with a messenger. A mere messenger?
But couldn't the messenger,
at that level, the messenger considering his training.
Yeah, but couldn't he have respected the position of the
messenger considering his training is expected to obey the last order from his superior. Let me give you an instance.
From his superior instead of the first citizen of that state?
The first citizen of the state also should relate with the person that sent that messenger. Because at that level, it is not, he's trained to take orders. It's like a robot. Why do you think we call the military zombie?
They're robots, actually.
He's trained to be a robot. He's given instruction. Stand here.
So the only person who would have defied the order from is commander-in-chief himself.
Even if the commander-in-chief will not do that,
and he decides to disobey
why do you think
to step down? He will not step down.
So guys, I'm quickly going to take you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians after these officers came demanding that Wike be sacked. Now, let's see how Nigerians are reacting. This person say, Wike no say, he go collect Nyamere treatment, although he said he is not Igbo. No worry, we offer him to honor. This other person here said, okay, I think this person is trying to say that Wike didn't know that they are going to come for him, especially being somebody from Igbo. And the guy said after Wike has denied that he's not even an Igbo. This other person said, these folks are giving command to the president. Tell us who you want to be appointed to replace Wike as FCT, so that your preferred minister will allow cows to graze everywhere in Abuja and allow cluster of Almajiri everywhere because you own Nigeria. And this other person here is saying, now Nyesom Wike wahala start. Sim Fubara Juju man too strong. Sim Fubara Juju man too strong. This person here said Wike right now. So guys, Wike is getting a whole lot of buzz boost. Another person here is saying, for those that want to feel attacked, go and ask Rochas how they retired him in politics. Remember role of Wike in 2023 election. Remember the role of Wike immediately they grab power. Remember the role of Wike in Rivers till date. Remember the role of Wike in Obibo massacre. Another person here said, you guys should rest. Religion and tribalism are killing us in this country and letting it go backward. If not for the maturity Wike didn't show, if he had gone to the place and the military officer didn't let him enter to monitor without abusive words to the officer, the officer or his boss would have been held responsible for obstructing Wike as he's performing the president's assignment. If this happened to Hausa, it will be a different story. So guys, this is what this guy is saying, is that is because Wike is from the south. This person, Wike, is really the most hated politician in Nigeria today. His enemies are from north to south and increasing beyond Nigeria. Tinubu should consider removing Wike to give his administration fresh air. Another person here say, didn't I talk am before? Barracks don't talk. People think say na joke. Now retired military officers don't come out. They repeat the same warning and make nobody deceive themselves. If every retired officer wey open mouth talk, hundreds of 7 officers and thousands of NCOs, they reason the same thing quietly. If Tinubu and co think say their influence pass the collective will of retired armed forces senior men, then they make big mistake. Oga Tinubu, barracks don't talk already. It better you listen. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you make of what is befalling Wike now. These soldiers are saying Wike should be sacked, but the question remains, should they really be sacked because Wike is trying to sanitize the environment? I don't know if that is actually what Wike is doing. Many people have criticized Wike that he's collecting these lands and giving them to his friends and cronies. So you can't even justify him taking over the land. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.